Hello guys, Arteshin here. How is it going? Now, I want to quickly address a certain topic because I find it fascinating how each era in Narutoverse had something unique, including a different God of Shinobi. So, yeah, I am going to get every known ninja in Naruto who held the title strongest in the world during all of the eras we know about. So stay tuned because there are going to be some controversial choices which I am willing to take the consequences for ranking as the strongest Shinobi. Let's get started. Now, I am going to exclude Kaguya from those rankings because, well, it's just not fair, you know. She's, without a doubt, the strongest ever living creature in Naruto. Now, let's go with the rest, and the first guy who ever held the title as the strongest living ninja during his time is, well, the original Sage of the Six Paths, Hagoromo. Now, I don't think I even have to explain that wrong, you know. He literally had no contest. He was stronger than his brother, especially when he became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. His chakra was undiluted and was literally the thing which every other dude, namely Madara and Obito, were hoping to become. So, Hagoromo's might and exploits ultimately made him revert as a god, literal god. He obtained a group of followers, as many across the world, you know, strove to learn from his teachings. His power, it kinda even transcended time itself, as he was able to continue observing the world and interact with people pretty long after his death. So, yeah, this guy was literally something else. Next, shortly after Hagoromo's time, we have Indra and Asura, okay? And while I'm inclined to believe, you know, Kishimoto implied that Asura was stronger, it's, you know, still not a clear cut, and it's a debate of interpretation. So, some people say they're kinda equal, you know. It's a really fitting story because, you know, Asura was Indra's younger brother and he was someone who was said to be born with no talents at all. However, over the years, he got kinda stronger thanks to his hard work, and eventually Asura was chosen as Hagoromo's successor, which infuriated Indra, who was manipulated by Black Zetsu. So the two of them fought, and while at first, you know, Indra appeared to be winning, in the end, Asura, he was the ultimate victor. Next, we have the Warring States period, where we have several outstanding shinobi, of which two in particular stand out. Madara and Hashirama, who are continuing Indra and Asura's feud, okay? Now, while they are also presented as equals, I am sorry to tell you, but Indra and Asura's situation, it's kinda reversed here. It's Hashirama who was the guy born with pure power, and he just grows stronger. Without doing anything special, he is just him, okay? Madara, on the other hand, he always needs to do the impossible and defy the odds to catch up. So, dude needs to watch his close people, you know, die to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan, then gets beaten up by Hashirama. His brother gets killed, and Madara transplants his eyes, gets the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Maybe it's finally his chance, you know, gets beaten up by Hashirama. Finally, he gets the QB under his control, gets beaten up by Hashirama. Now, just imagine any of those special conditions weren't fulfilled. Hashirama just grows exponentially stronger and he would probably one-shot Madara. So yeah, Hashirama is just the strongest dude in the Warring States period. Followed by a slight gap, and you have Madara at second place, then a pretty big gap, and you probably got Tobirama with the fourth place, most likely belonging to Izuna, but those are just speculations. Now, we have Konoha, the 5 villages established, and we're entering into the first Ninja War period, where Hashirama is still the top dog for a while. However, he dies sometimes during the war, and the vacant place has to be taken. Now, Madara is technically alive, but literally for everyone, including us the readers for a while, he's dead, okay? He doesn't do anything, so we are excluding him from the list. Now, we do not have a very good direct comparison, but one thing we know for sure is Hiruzen most likely was far from his prime, as Tobirama didn't really think that a team of himself, Hiruzen, Young Danzo, Uchiha Kagami, future elders, and so on, could take on the Kin and Gin squad, okay? On the other side, Tobirama was still probably known as the fastest ninja up until this point. And we kinda know that up until Tsunade, being a Hokage pretty much meant you are the strongest Kage of the 5 villages. I think it's pretty much undebatable that Tobirama is the strongest shinobi of the first Ninja War. Then he's probably followed by Mu and Gengetsu, who are respectively pretty overpowered shinobi in their own way. So we are going into a time period leading to the Second Great Ninja War, and that is precisely where Hiruzen should be around his prime. Now, we just have the canonical statement that Hiruzen was the strongest Hokage during his old days, and there is nothing to contradict that wasn't the case when he was younger, you know. Now, obviously, you have a powerhouse like the Third Raikage, and it's just hard to imagine how could Hiruzen match that, but hey, Kishimoto's statements are Kishimoto's statements. If he says that Hiruzen was unmatched in his prime, so be it. To add up on that, Hiruzen in his old self has shown that he has enough physical and reaction speed to participate in the fight against Jubito. So it's not that far-fetched to imagine he could won 1v1 against the Sandaime Raikage in his youth. So yeah, Hiruzen is the strongest person during the second Shinobi War. Second place, probably Third Raikage. Third is Onoki, fourth Hanzo, and at fifth place, I am willing to give it to the third Kazekage. Entering the third Great Ninja War, which, happened shortly after the second, we have some new contenders. Now, we kinda have, more broad choice of candidates, and depending if you consider Hiruzen in his prime, there may be a debate, but I think he was already past his prime, losing to Minato, and now, Minato, I am sorry, but I just can't see how Minato could be stronger than the third Raikage. Okay. Maybe Hokage Minato could be debatable, but Minato during the third Great Ninja War, just no way. I'm sorry, can't believe it. Like pure attack power, the third Raikage just scales above alive Minato, who has no QB chakra. Not to mention, his Sage Mode, it's not a factor. If Minato was, a Sage Mode fighter, he could have used it against, Obito. He could have used it, at least once when he was alive. But we see no indication that Minato ever liked to fight with Sage Mode. Now, okay, Minato might be faster with his, Flying Thunder God, but dude has no way to damage the Raikage, even if he somehow hits him, which won't be that easy. And unless he uses the Death Reaper seal, which, again, I'm sorry, but if you have to sacrifice your life to beat an opponent, you are technically not that much stronger than him, okay? Again, if you think that Minato can damage the third Raikage in some way, please drop down in the comments because I can't really see it. The Raikage can tank a Bijou-powered Rasen Shuriken by Naruto, KMC Naruto, and I'm sorry, but alive Minato has nothing even remotely close to that attack power. Like, this is the dude that went head-to-head fist brawl with the 8 Tails. You just shouldn't make that kind of overpowered characters. So, yeah, I have the Raikage as the strongest person during the Third Great Ninja War, followed by Minato, 3rd place Hiruzen, and 4th place Onoki. Now, I am going to grade the next era up until probably part 1, Hiruzen's death. And let's get it off the grid on why I'm not going to rank some of the pretty strong people we have alive during this time. First, similar to how I didn't rank Madara in the First Great Ninja War, I won't really rank Pain, Conan, and Obito because no one really knows about them, okay? For example, Jiraiya said that almost all of the Akatsuki was composed of S-rank missing ninjas, but those 3, they were as good as dead. They aren't really known to the public, unlike the other members, who were pretty well known as class criminals. So, from the people known here, we definitely have, Itachi as probably the strongest dude, no? Hiruzen is already past his prime, and while it's not entirely certain if Itachi was thought to be a good guy at that point, maybe, the statement that Jiraiya was stronger was actually true back then. However, later in the series, we obviously see that Itachi, he's at least slightly stronger than Jiraiya. So, I think he gets the first place here, right? However, now that I think about it, we have the big outlier who is, Guy Sensei, whom we still don't know if he can open up to the 8 gates at this point, but he should have for sure unlocked it up at least to the 7th gate. Now, 7 gates Guy up to the Sikitachi, yeah, I changed my mind. He's the strongest shinobi of the era up until Hiruzen's death. Followed by Itachi, Hiruzen himself, 4th place Onoki, and let's give 5th place to the Raikage. So, entering the final stage, up until the war arc, we have a pretty wide gap where a lot of powerful characters, make their introduction. So I am going to account for the time between Hiruzen's death and, specifically the end of the 5 Kage summit. And that's where our 2 big contenders fall into place and kinda gain a reputation for themselves. So Pain and Obito, under the Madara nickname, terrorizes the whole ninja world for a bit, and rightly so. I have those 2 as well as Itachi and Guy, a tier above the rest up until the war arc. Now, as I said, I am going to lean more into feats instead of reputation and perceived threat, and that's why I have Pain or Nagato as the strongest shinobi of the period up until the war arc. So yeah, on one hand, you kinda have Zetsu, who is the ultimate spy, you know. He's watched every single battle in the series, ranging from, Hiruzen vs Orochimaru to Sasuke vs Itachi. He's literally spied on everything since his creation by Kaguya. And this guy, he's literally baffled that Obito even thought, Nagato might be defeated. He's so baffled he couldn't believe Obito devised a plan in the case that happens. And Obito himself kinda agrees that it wasn't really a possibility. He even doubts, if Sasuke could become stronger than Nagato. I have a video about how his attack power and durability is so absurd. I could see him overcoming more obstacles than Orange Mask Obito could. Even if Obito can, he could technically just teleport to his wheelchair and off him. But yeah, direct counters aren't everything. So Nagato first place, Obito second, Guy third, Itachi fourth, and then I probably have Naruto and Sasuke combo taking the 5th place. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I am obviously not going to include the war arc, because things change so quickly in the span of days, and the power level there makes what Nagato, Itachi and Kabuto could do look kinda like a joke. So yeah, it's going to be a bit harder. I am also not going to include Boruto because, well, no Boruto on this channel. So to recap, I have Hagoromo as the strongest guy during the Shinobi origin era. Then I have Asura as the strongest during the Brotherly Feud era. Hashirama takes the first place during the Warring State period, followed by Tobirama during the First Great Ninja War. Next, Hiruzen is the undisputed God of Shinobi during the Second Great Ninja War. And the third Raikage, the original A, is the most formidable shinobi during the Third Great Ninja War. Guy is the strongest shinobi during Part 1 up until Hiruzen's death, and the third Sage of the Six Paths, Nagato, also known as Pain, finishes the list as number 1 shinobi up until the end of the 5 Kage Summit. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you wanna hear more controversial truths, which other content creators are kinda afraid to say, like and subscribe and I will obviously deliver. Bye bye!